Cool. Okay, what we're going to be looking at today is a sweep and pass combination from the half guard. Okay, so we're going to start off in a traditional sort of half guard position, one high knee, hands blocking up on the shoulder here from there. Okay, I'm now going to kick this leg up from here and I'm going to sit under. I'm going to sit my shoulder in first and I'm going to rotate my arm around so I grab nice and deep on his back from here. Okay, as I grab this, I'm going to bring him forward a little bit and I'm going to use my spare hand here to grab his knee. Okay, this will lock me to him here. Okay, now if you can spin to the back, please. Sorry, no, him. Sorry. Yeah. I'm now going to switch my legs over here. Going to pull up, twist his knee, and let his knee come through. So now I've got a lot of torque, a lot of pressure on his knee from here. Okay, now I can either get to my knees and take him down across to this way, or I can spin back and take him over to this way. Either way, it's the same thing. Okay, so as I push him to the ground, as he comes down, here, I'm going to keep this grip on the knee. I'm going to pin his knee to the ground. My head is going to come forwards next to his head, and my knee here is going to cut through here. Okay, so now I'm pinned in between his legs here. My head will be next to his, and this will keep him flat here. My hand comes up, my head comes next to his, I grab his elbow, and I pull upwards here now. This foot is going to step in, I want to come straight over to the mount. There should always be that little woof noise at the end, that's a sign it's working. And we settle into the mount from there. So, once again. Again, the important thing basically is I want to bring his weight forwards, okay? If I just try and sit up whilst he's sitting backwards, so if I sit here and I try and keep going, he's going to sit back there, I'm going to get stuck from there. So as soon as I come in, I kick him up, bring him forwards a little bit from there, I come behind and I keep this shoulder pressure, keeping him forwards here. And then I lock myself to him, here. Switch. Up from here. Again, if I go the opposite way, if he tries to push towards, I go take him the other way. It's the same thing. I'm just going to step over to the same position. Okay, I force the knee to the ground. Step. Make sure we'll be okay here. Come up. Head to head. Knee through. Grab. Pull. Drive. Step. Settle. And take the mount position from there. So.
Yeah, so
can you show it one last time with no explanation?
Let's do it. Okay.
So I'm going to flip things around, and we're going to deal with what some people call the knee shield, with his legs locked. Well, this is the position, we'll define it first. So some people, they have a really tight hold back here, and it feels like you can't do anything. It feels like you can't get in. Maybe they're giving you this praying mantis thing right here and making it very difficult for you. This is a position that can be very tricky to get inside. So you may want to try and pass straight away from this position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lace his legs. Now, I'm gonna grab the pants. Some people like to lace all the way because it compresses his legs together. But sometimes I can't make that grip, so I just have to grab the pants here. Now for this arm, I can't put it too far high because Ollie's gonna catch me in this straight arm bar here where he comes behind. I'm gonna get tapped. So what I do is I'm gonna put my arm right here, right almost underneath his armpit, right at the shoulder level. Now what I need to be careful about is Ollie kind of folding in on me and getting maybe underneath me like this. This would be very bad from this position. So if he tries to walk like there, go ahead and like walk. I undo that angle. You see how I'm circling a little bit? I can't allow him that angle. That would be very bad. So what I'm gonna do from this position, one more thing of note. This is for opponents that are very tricky. You need to be a little bit careful about a wrist lock here because of where my hand is potentially. You could potentially get caught in that. But like most wrist locks, the defense is kind of awareness of the situation because you can kind of get out or keep a nice firm wrist there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this kind of awkward looking post here. Not out too far. I don't want him to grab it again, so I'm gonna undo it if necessary. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my body towards my right like this. Not for long at all. And what I'm gonna do is twist and single leg sprawl. And the twisting is the key. I know many of you have seen many variations of this move, but the twisting is really the key to this move as I single leg sprawl. Like this. And I end in this position. Single leg sprawl position. So that's what you're gonna end in. But that twisting motion is what's necessary to break really, really strong, leg locks here. So I'm here playing the position, getting it, nice and comfortable, denying his attacks. I come here, I twist, and then single leg falls like this. Now, what do I do from here? Since he showed something, I'm gonna show something similar. I'm gonna windshield wiper my back leg, which is a very common theme in many different types of passing. So if this is your first experience with this kind of windshield wiper movement that I'm gonna do, start to see it from other positions too. I'm gonna come here. And more or less, I'm kind of starting to get around his half guard. Once I do that, I remove my knee on the other side of his leg and I drop my hip and I start walking higher. Now that armbar that I showed you isn't of much concern now, so I can go deeper behind his collar. A traditional way to pass this would be to extend your arm, and with this grip that I made down here, I'm gonna pull open and turn his hips the other direction. So I'm right here, and then pull. And why his hips move that way is because I had this grip here, and I pulled and extended my arm. But I'm gonna show a finish to this one, where it's kind of similar to what Ollie did, to keep the theme consistent. So what I'm gonna do, maybe I'm having trouble here, this knee is being very pesky, very high and pesky. See how it's hard to get around? It's very high, right? So sometimes you get this opportunity to take your right leg and put it in between the legs, just as Ollie did. Because my right hand is kind of securing that position. I just replaced my knee with right there, in the same thing, in between his legs. Now I'm in the same position that Ollie was. I'll show a different way to finish than Ollie did. He picked up the arm, but my hand position is a little different here. So what I'm gonna do is roll him on the back and bring the knee as high up here as I can. Quickly as I can, I look for the cross face. And I'm gonna really pressure his face off. Now the trick is here, and why Ollie showed to pick up the arm, is that this arm is gonna be defending this area. So this kind of requires some patience, because I need to be able to put my knee into his belly button area. And if his elbow is defending that, that's gonna be very tricky. So here's one little trick. It's just one thing that'll help you, because we don't have all the time in the world. I'm gonna cut open my leg a little bit backwards. It'll make some more space for you to try and get in, as I'm really trying to pop his head off. And if you get the pressure in right with like underneath his armpit here and really smash him, it's gonna be very tricky. He may even bring his hand up and defend that shoulder pressure. If you want, you can go back to the arm and picking up the arm, but you need to clear that space. So right here, I jam it in and then mount in the same manner that Ollie did. So knee shield pass, showed you the standard finish and then kind of combined with what Ollie did. We'll do that one more time. Right here, playing the position, go ahead and move maybe slightly realistically. I post here, I turn. You see how much I'm turned here? And then single leg sprawl. It should pop that leg off. I scream on my back leg, windshield wiper, some people call it. I'll remove it and start dropping my hips and walking higher. Maybe he's giving me so much trouble, give me trouble, Ollie. And then I take this, oh, no good. I'm gonna go back to the standard pass and try here. But if I can, I get this position, cinch up my knee, get the cross face and really start pressuring in here. I'm gonna try and jam this in. I feel that his knee is almost where I need to in this particular example. So I might need to be a little bit more patient. I work it in there, my feet glued to the ground so he doesn't have an escape right on the hips. And then I come up to get them out. We'll do.
Stand one last time with no.
Yep.
Ollie, Dan, thank you very much for your very detailed techniques. Thanks for coming in today. Good luck in the tournament tomorrow.
Thank you much.
So next week we're going to be in Atlanta for the tournament, so there will be no This Week in BJJ next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and keep on rolling.
That concludes this installment of This Week in BJJ. Subscribe on iTunes, watch and review past episodes, and then be sure to join us again next Friday night, right here for another live edition of This Week in BJJ.